Before we start the experiment, it's always good to write out the diagrams and materials. We should also write out the data table so that we are able to record the data along the way. We do this so we can have everything ready before the experiment. In paper chromatography, there are two phases, the mobile phase and the stationary phase. The stationary phase is the paper with the ink on it. The mobile phase is the beaker with the solvent in it. For our experiment, we will be using ethanol and water for our two solvents. When getting the solvents, be sure to label the beakers you put them in so that we don't mix them up. Since we are using ethanol, be sure to put on your safety goggles. As shown in the video, using the paper, we will draw a line towards the bottom and use one of the inks to draw a dot in the middle of it. We are now ready to begin the experiment. As shown in the video, the line on the piece of paper should be a little bit above the solvent. For our experiment, we will keep the piece of paper in the solvent for about 5 minutes. After about 5 minutes, take the piece of paper out and mark down where the solvent stopped traveling up the paper. To take measurements, measure how far the middle of the ink went. Be sure to do this in centimeters. As shown in the table, use the equation to find the R factor. Repeat this step for the other ink and the other solvent. When you are done, compare all of the pieces of papers. When you do this, you will see that some inks went farther up and some solvents. We are able to see this because of the differences in polarity in the solvents and in the ink. We know that water is polar and ethanol is somewhat non-polar. This means that from looking at the data, we can say that the ink from the black Sharpie is non-polar. We are able to say this because we know that polar things attract other polar things, while non-polar things attract other non-polar things.